It's the final over of a test match. The ambient temperature is hovering around 35 degrees Celsius, the humidity is suffocating, and a fast bowler is charging in to deliver a match-defining ball. For the batter waiting at the crease, something is suddenly wrong. Their legs feel like they are submerged in wet concrete. The bat feels twice its normal weight. Their reaction time, normally razor-sharp, has inexplicably delayed by a fraction of a second. That tiny delay is all it takes. When a cricket ball is released at 150 kilometers per hour, it reaches the batter in roughly 4/10 of a second. With delayed muscular response, a standard fast delivery suddenly appears entirely unplayable. The human machine has reached an invisible physiological shutdown. Willpower remains, but the underlying hardware is failing. A common assumption is that this late-game collapse happens because the muscles are simply tired, bogged down by a buildup of lactic acid or localized wear and tear. But the biology tells a different story. This failure originates in the neural pathways connecting the brain to the body, a condition known as central nervous system, or CNS fatigue. The brain's motor cortex sends action signals down the spinal cord. Under extreme heat, this transmission hits a bottleneck and degrades. The weakened signal fails to recruit the high-threshold motor units required for explosive movement. The muscles can swing, but the command never arrives. Preventing this specific neural collapse requires a precise 30-minute biological calibration sequence to systematically prime the internal environment. This sequence is structured around the ramp protocol. Step 1 is the raise phase. The biological target here is incredibly precise, elevating the athlete's core and muscle temperature to exactly 38.5 degrees Celsius. This chart shows the oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve, which dictates how blood carries oxygen. As the athlete's internal temperature rises, the curve actively shifts to the right. This is known as the Bohr Effect. By shifting that curve, the heat essentially forces hemoglobin to loosen its grip on oxygen molecules. It rapidly accelerates the rate at which oxygen is dumped directly into the muscle tissues, exactly where it is needed for high-intensity respiration. But heating the engine provides a secondary, purely mechanical benefit. As temperature increases, the internal viscosity of the muscle fibers and connective tissues drops significantly. Inside every muscle are tiny protein filaments called actin and myosin. When viscosity drops, the physical friction between these filaments vanishes. They glide past each other smoothly, allowing the muscle to contract faster and with less effort. This thermal preheat effectively eliminates internal biological drag. The body is no longer fighting its own resistance, unlocking the fluid mechanics required to survive a 5-day test match. With the engine heated, the protocol moves to the activate and mobilize phase. We have to dispel a decades-old habit here. Holding long static stretches actually temporarily reduces a muscle's power output. Instead, the goal is kinetic alignment. The human body generates force through interconnected chains of muscle and fascia, called myofascial slings. If these slings aren't perfectly aligned, the body leaks power during explosive movements. Athletes use dynamic, targeted movements, like 90-90 heel taps for the hips, and targeted thoracic rotations to lock these specific chains into place. Notice how this diagram maps the energy transfer of a fast bowler, starting the moment the front foot strikes the ground. The kinetic energy travels up from the turf, passes through a stabilized core, rotates through a mobile thoracic spine, and accelerates out through the upper extremities for the release. A fast bowler absorbs up to 9.5 times their own body weight at the crease. If the myofascial slings are misaligned, that massive force bypasses the muscles and slams directly into the joints, instantly destroying power output and inviting severe ligament trauma. The final phase of the sequence is potentiate. This is the direct biological antidote to the central nervous system fatigue that causes late-game collapses. Potentiation relies on a mechanism called PAP, or Post-Activation Potentiation. You cannot trigger PAP with light jogging. It requires maximal, high-intensity explosive bursts, like short sprints or heavy jumps, completed just minutes before play begins. Those intense bursts force a chemical transformation inside the muscle fibers, specifically the phosphorylation of the myosin regulatory light chains. In simple terms, the contractile heads of the muscle are coated in a chemical marker that makes them highly reactive to calcium. This extreme calcium sensitivity ensures a faster and more forceful response the moment a signal arrives. It increases the velocity of the muscle contraction by bypassing the neural resistance typically found in a fatigued state. This final step maximizes neural output and motor unit recruitment, ensuring that explosive power and reaction speeds are primed at absolute maximum capacity from the very first ball. Let's return to that high-pressure final over. The temperature is still 35 degrees. The pressure is identical. But this time, the athlete stepping onto the pitch has successfully executed the calibration sequence. Their internal drag is eliminated. Their kinetic chains are aligned. Their nervous system is potentiated. When the ball leaves the bowler's hand, the batter's motor cortex fires a signal that travels unimpeded, resulting in a flawless, explosive transfer of power. That biological efficiency preserves the crucial milliseconds required to track and hit the delivery. In elite cricket, where reactions are measured in fractions of a second, this efficiency prevents the performance decay seen in uncalibrated athletes. Raw physical strength and natural talent are the baseline requirements to walk onto a professional field. But when fatigue sets in and the margins narrow, precise physiological optimization becomes the deciding factor. At its highest level, cricket is a high-stakes biological war. Ultimate domination belongs only to the athlete who has systematically mastered their own human machine.